Interesting facts about Singapore. Singapore is one country that will never cease to keep surprising its visitors and the world. Officially known as the Republic of Singapore, it is both a city and a country located in Southeast Asia. It is a melting pot of culture and history, and an extravaganza of culinary delights. Beyond Singapore's picture-perfect skyline and bustling city center, there's so much about this country to explore. Watch until the end for curious facts you never knew about this green and cosmopolitan city. 1. The Lion City may actually have been inspired by a tiger. You may have heard about the merlion, Singapore's iconic emblem. The merlion is a mythical creature with a lion's head and a fish's tail. What you might not know, the merlion was partly inspired by the city's Sanskrit name, Singapura, which means Lion City. This Sanskrit name is thought to have been given by a Sumatran prince Sang Nila Utama, who ruled Temasek, a settlement on the Singapura island during the early 14th century. While hunting for animals, the prince spotted a strange creature moving quickly, which was identified as a lion by his advisors. However, there were no records of lions native to Singapore. It might have been a tiger that he saw, for tigers used to be found in the wild in Singapore, up until the 1930s. Lions were only brought in modern times for the zoos. 2. Singapore was a Malaysian city in the past. One of the very interesting facts about Singapore is that some people still don't realize that Singapore is not only a city but also a country. When talking with other people, we often hear that they thought Singapore is just another Malaysian city like Kuala Lumpur. It is not anymore, although these countries are connected to each other. Some Malaysian people go to Singapore to work and earn money. And Singaporean people visit Malaysia very often during their free time. Remember a teary-eyed Lee Kuan Yew when he announced Singapore's independence? Those weren't tears of joy. Singapore is the only country in the modern world to gain independence against its own will. The late Prime Minister wanted a merger and unity. However, due to extreme political fallouts, the Malaysian parliament unanimously voted to expel Singapore, forcing the little red dot to stand as an independent and sovereign state. Singapore was a part of Malaysia till 1965. Three. Singapore has changed its time zone 6 times. Singapore was 7 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time from 1905 to 1932. Then, it moved 20 minutes forward from 1933 to 1941, and a further 10 minutes from 1941 to 1942. During the Japanese occupation in World War II, its clocks moved an hour and 30 minutes ahead to sync with Japan's. When the war ended, the clocks reverted back. It moved to GMT plus 8 time zone in 1982 just to be in sync with Malaysia. Technically, Singapore should be in the GMT plus 7.5 time zone. 4. The national flag displays Singaporean ideals. The red of Singapore's flag represents universal brotherhood and equality of man, while the white symbolizes purity and virtue. The crescent moon stands for a young nation on the rise, and the 5 stars signify the ideals of democracy, peace, progress, justice, and equality. 5. The national language of Singapore is Malay. Other than the 4 official languages, English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil that Singaporeans speak, they also speak a 5th language, which is a local lingo by the name of Singlish. However, instead of being a broken language, it is a really complicated Creole that foreigners cannot pick up easily. 6. Singaporean people speak Singlish. Singlish is a collection of colloquial catchphrases and lingo influenced by Singapore's multiculturalism. Some people think that Singlish, also known as the Singaporean English, isn't supposed to be spoken because it is not exquisite enough. It's the language spoken in many parts of Singapore that has a base of English but is blended in with words from many different languages, including Tamil, Malay, and Mandarin. Even though the government discourages speaking Singlish in favor of English, some Singlish words such as sinsay and la have been added to the online Oxford English Dictionary. A total of 27 Singlish words have made it to the Oxford Dictionary. Other examples include the Singlish term chope, which means to reserve a seat. Locals often chope seats at a hawker center using packets of tissue paper. 7. Interesting currency. Not only is the Singaporean national anthem written in microtext on the backside of their 1,000 Singapore dollar note, but the tambusu tree that is printed on the 5 Singapore dollars banknote is an actual living tree that is still standing tall in the Botanic Gardens. The 200-year-old tree is older than the 156-year-old garden and is a source of much pride for the country. 8. There are 64 islands. Contrary to popular belief, Singapore is not a single island, but 64 in all, comprising of other offshore islands also, such as Kusu Island, Pulau Semakau, Lazarus Island, Sentosa Island, Pulau Ubin, Sisters Island and St. John's Island among others. Most of which are uninhabited. While there are some of these offshore islands which welcome visitors to explore their grounds, others are off-limits. 9. Buddhism is the country's most widely practiced religion, followed by Christianity, Islam, Taoism, and Hinduism. 10. Singapore is a millionaire's city. It is almost unbelievable, but 1 of every 6 Singaporean households has a fortune of more than $1 million. And we are talking about disposable wealth here, meaning that property, businesses, cars, etc. have not even been taken into account. Singapore has the highest percentage of millionaires in the world.